Evening, less than 24 hours after his arrest, Earl Jones is free on bail. This afternoon, he was charged with fraud and theft. The self-proclaimed investment advisor is accused of defrauding hundreds of investors of up to $50 million. Tue Jul has more on Jones's day in court.
Earl Jones left the Montreal courthouse surrounded by security and the media. He was heckled by several members of the public as he made his way into a waiting car. His court appearance only lasted a few minutes. He was formally charged with 4 counts of fraud and 4 counts of theft against 4 victims. They are James Haywood, Diane McLean, Christine Marlowe, and the estate of Graham Harrison Ross. Each count is punishable by up to 14 years in jail.
For the time being, he is not guilty.
Jones was also granted bail on the spot, but with some conditions. He must surrender his passport and remain in Quebec. He's forbidden from contacting the victims except family members. He's also forbidden from managing any money or assets. He also posted $30,000 bail. A relative named Raymond Michael agreed to post the money. His lawyer wouldn't say if Jones has any money of his own.
The money that was deposited was not money that belongs to my client, Mr. Jones.
Borrow insists his client is depressive and suicidal and claims he's been the subject of death threats.
Yes, I am definitely worried about his safety because he's gotten threatening messages on his home answering machine. And I know that there are a lot of unhappy people out there. And I know that from what I see in the interviews, there's a lot of desperate people out there. And we all know that desperate people can do desperate things.
The prosecution wouldn't comment on why it allowed Jones to be released on bail. Yet Borrow thinks the police investigation is far from over. He earlier said that public opinion forced the prosecutor to file these charges, even if many more are likely to follow.
They had no choice but to act in a piecemeal way rather than to have a full and complete file.
Jones now has to be back in court on September 28 for the rest of the procedures, but he could be back sooner if the police and the prosecution decide to add more charges for more victims. Tue Jul, CTV News.